This is one of the most beautiful M5s ever made. In recent years, BMW has really messed up their design, especially when it comes to the front end. Thankfully, BMW has managed to make this car absolutely stunning and gorgeous. This is not even an ordinary M5. This is the 2022 BMW M5 CS. This is one of the best colors I've seen on the M5, this beautiful matte gray finish. The front end on this thing is perfect with the right size grille and just the right bold look. This is a huge engine in this M5, so it needs to have really big air vents. It's also got a carbon fiber lip up front. And then the coolest part is the yellow glow with the lights up front anytime you lock or unlock the car. I would have gone one step further and made this red to truly tell the world to not mess with me. These are really attractive gold wheels with huge carbon ceramic brakes and a red M brake caliper, perfectly designed for the track. Just like the front end, the rear is also really aggressively designed with this really cool carbon fiber spoiler, and you have a carbon fiber diffuser down below with nice looking tailpipes. M5s are truly special cars. I used to own one not too long ago, although this one is of a completely different league. There's no question that BMW really nailed the looks on this car, but it also nailed just about everything else about it. 627 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque from this twin-turbo V8 4.4 liter, 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. Needless to say, this car is incredibly quick, and it's got that amazing V8 soundtrack to go along with that speed. Make no mistake, this might look like an ordinary grocery getting sedan, but this thing can run circles around just about any other car on the track. It might look unassuming on the outside, but the minute you open the door, you see exactly what this car is about. These are race car carbon fiber seats, and the minute you sit on these, you feel like you're ready to hit the track. Conveniently, you have grab handles on the side, and you're gonna need them if you have a race car driver thrashing you around on a track. Even if you weren't racing, these are some of the best seats you'll find in any car anywhere. There's even a carbon fiber divider in these seats to hold your legs in place as you're taking those turns at ungodly speeds. The steering wheel in this M5 feels great. It's wrapped in Alcantara, just the right size. After not having a regular steering wheel in my daily driver for a while, it feels kind of nice to have a circular one. You have a nice size iDrive screen with all of your menus, including the M menu. Here you can configure M1 and M2. You have 2 different modes that you can push. Pretty much everything's configurable from engine to transmission to chassis and steering. And then simply push in the button to activate that mode. Then you have really nice carbon fiber paddle shifters. The digital dash changes configuration if you push in M mode. With that mode, you have the tach and the speedometer on either side of the car. The iDrive and infotainment is the same as virtually every other BMW, so nothing new or different for the M5 CS. You have a button here to make the exhaust louder if you'd like. I like the climate control display because it's all digital on the screen. Definitely no need for heated seats right now. I like that you can separately change all the settings depending on what your preferences are. Then there's a track mode you can enable if you hold down the mode button. That is definitely not needed right now. Don't be fooled. It looks like a standard center console, but you know what? You can't lift this thing. There's nothing here other than resting your arm. Getting in and out of this M5 is not that simple because you do have these grab handles on the side. It sticks up quite a bit, but it's a race car after all, so it's not going to be all that easy. In the back, you have bucket seats as well. These are racing seats, but not quite as crazy as what you have up front. But the most number of people in the back you can fit are 2. There is no middle seat. Because you're in these racing seats in the back, it doesn't feel like any other car backseat that you'll be in. And on top of that, you have this really nice view of this beautiful carbon fiber seat up front. This M5 backseat area is nothing like any other car you've been in. In case you forget what car you're in the CS. If you need reading lights, they're in the back on the roof of the car. Thankfully, you have your own climate control both in the center and also some side vents. And your cup holder will be in the door pocket. You may not have the third back seat space, but you do have a huge trunk, typical of your standard M5. Finally, it's time to drive this beast of an M5. To put this into drive, shift it to the right, or if you want to go into reverse all the way to the left and then reverse. And you have a nice crisp display of the rear camera. So I put the engine and transmission into Sport Plus mode as well as the steering. The ride, on the other hand, though, it's still in comfort, because I have to admit, in Sport Plus, it does get a little too stiff, especially just normal driving. Because this is the M5 CS, there has been some weight savings, so it's not quite as insulated. So you're gonna hear more of the wind noise and the road noise. But I like it because it means that you hear just a little bit more of that V8. And it fits the overall theme of what this car should be. Just more visceral, more raw, providing you just a bit more of that driving satisfaction. These incredible seats keep you perfectly in place, which means that the car feels even more stable than it already does. The seats make a huge difference. On this thing, you can adjust the side bolster so it hugs you even tighter. And that's important because this is a car that you want to throw around turns and drive pretty aggressively. And when you do that, you get even more confidence because you're held in one place. As opposed to my Plaid, where you're constantly slipping and sliding around because the seats are the exact opposite. In the Plaid, they're terrible. In this M5, the experience is even more enhanced with these awesome racing seats. And the handling on this is super sharp, and this is a car that you cannot throw off balance no matter what you do. It's not a light car at 4,100 pounds, but with this much power, the weight doesn't really make a difference. You have incredible steering feel. The steering wheel feels great. When the shifts in this car are the most aggressive that they can be, it's absolutely brutal. This thing just hauls and you get pushed back into the seat, and you have beautiful V8 music on top of that. The beauty about the M5 is that not only does it have straight line speed with 627 horsepower, but the thing can also turn. I would say with the competition sport, they could have made it even a little more animalistic, because it's still slightly too refined, slightly too perfect. Some roughness around the edges, I think I could appreciate that with this. Not many cars out there can handle this good and have this much sheer torque and horsepower. 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. This is almost as quick as my Tesla Plaid with 1,000 horsepower. With this car, you're not even reaching 0.1% of its capabilities on normal roads, no matter how curvy they get. Just the combination of the seats and the steering wheel just make this car feel so much better and so different. Oh, so brutal. Just like every BMW ever made, this has gotta be more than 627 horsepower. I love that in this M5 CS, you feel the shifts. It's powerful, it's aggressive, the car shakes, it moves. Amazing. It's exactly what 627 horsepower should be like. And in true BMW style, if you want this thing to be refined and sophisticated, it can be. Just put the animal out of sight, out of mind. You wouldn't even know what kind of car you're driving. It's perfectly at home at highways. You can cruise around. The amazing seats feel great. So just because this is tuned for the racetrack doesn't mean that it has to be its only home. The brakes on this thing are incredibly good. This thing stops so quickly. All it takes is just a slight tap of the brake pedal. And actually it does take some time getting used to, because just a little bit of a depression on the brake pedal and this thing will grind to a halt. BMW only made a limited number of these M5 CSs, and it's only for the true BMW M car fan. Fine-tuning this car means that this CS only makes sense if you're a regular track visitor. A regular 2022 BMW M5 you could get for the low 80s. This one, on the other hand, almost twice as much. The CS might not be twice the car as a regular M5, but I'll tell you what, this is the best M5 that BMW has ever built.